What up, YouTube world? How y'all doing, man? You know me, I'm doing all right, man. I'm cooling like a block of ice with a fan on it. But anyway, y'all know who this is. Your folks, your partner, your cousin on your dad's side. Mr. 6'3" divided by 9 times 4 divided by 2 minus 8 plus 1, and I am. But anyway, what we're going to do today is, first and foremost, if I'm not asking too much, hit the little red rectangle on the bottom and subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop new content. Like and comment if you're interested. But what we're going to do today is this week's segment, we're going to go a little further in depth about the pros and cons of an LLC, the advantages of having your own domain, the advantages also of getting an EIN number, like we spoke about last week when I was saying that those are some of the steps that I personally would take in the inception of me trying to build my brand or transition my thought to a company, to the household name. And LLCs, and a lot of people would just go get them because people say, hey man, you need an LLC. You need an LLC. I get that. But there's so many other aspects. I mean, not just aspects of business, but avenues that you can take when it comes to starting your company. Okay. Now, LLC is outside of sole proprietorship is one of the main things. But it's just as anything else, everything has its pros and cons, right? Now, I always, like, if people say to me, hey, Seven, I got some good news and bad news. What you want first? I'm going to always say, give me the bad. Because I'd rather you to drop me down and then pick me up versus pick me up and then drop me down. Follow what I'm saying? Sounds crazy, but it makes sense to me. All right. The con to that is the aspect of double taxation going on. So, meaning, just to kind of simplify it a little bit for you. If you get an LLC, LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. Okay, now those words hold weight if you understand the dynamic of them. This is how this goes. If you have a limited liability company and you're one of the employees or whatever, and you're taking what they call owner's draw, like paying yourself. Okay, you can pay yourself from your LLC. But now, this is something you need to understand about that. You're going to pay 15.3% taxes on what you pay yourself, alongside what you're going to pay for what the company brings in. Double taxation. Now, that's one of the cons, and there's even more. And as we go, I'm learning even more, so I'll share even more. Okay, that's one. But now, one of the pros is you have a limited liability company. So let's just say you have a brick and mortar storefront. Let's just say somebody comes in and slips on the floor. God forbid this happens to you if you're in this position. But let's just say somebody come in and slip on the floor. First thing they say is, I'm going to sue you. Now, if you don't have a lot of personal assets and things of your person outside of what the LLC obtains, then you kind of don't worry about being sued yourself. But if you do have these things, then you started thinking about how being sued can affect you. But again, here's the pro. That limited liability company limits the liability that you assume. So you're not suing me. You're suing the company. And in turn, has nothing to do with my person. Now, that's a pro. I gave you the con, then I gave you the pro. Now, there's more out there in terms of information regarding that you can do your research on. You know what I mean? You can listen to me, that's cool. You can research them, and that's cool. But me, if you follow me, I say do both. Trust but verify. It's cool to get information from a person that you feel is worthy, a person that you feel is trustworthy, a person that you feel is going to give it to you raw and uncut. But at the same time, it's always cool to go verify that truth. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's three sides of a story: mine, yours, and the truth. The truth doesn't need a kickstand. Okay. Now, we spoke and covered ground in regards to you getting your LLC, your EIN number, how essential that is. About the LLC being local, not really local, but statewide, and the EIN making it federal because you're dealing with the government, right? And also that domain, how it carries weight in terms of when you decide that you want to build your site and you want to be able to touch people in different places outside of where you reside currently, how that's going to be helpful. Like, again, my company, Team 7 and Company, my website is www.team7company.com. Now, I bought my site through Shopify, which would have put you in a position to go through a multitude of names to get to me. In some cases, might not even find me. But if I'm able to take that domain that I purchased and forward it, right, to my Shopify site, it makes it even easier to find me. And just a little small plug right there. If you got a little time on your hand, check out www.team7company.com and see what we got available. And we drop a new products every day. And like I say, the website is still being built, which I've had this domain for years. I had the site for years. I was paying for it for years. I would go live with it, then take it down. Go live with it and take it down. But like now, I want to stay live with it. I want to make it look professional, come off as professional, and provide a lot of products where people can buy into, share with their peers, like, you know what, I like this, I rock with this, however, whatever. But that was a little shameless plug. But that domain name is really, really essential. And also, as you started building your notoriety, started building your base, you're going to want to be able to separate your finances. That's very, very essential. Because if you're doing things for your business from your personal accounts, it's going to be hard to keep track of that money. What money went in? What money came out? What money was used for what? Follow me? So you're going to take that EIN that you've got. You're going to take that control number. You're going to go to the bank account with your ID, and you're going to open a checking account in your company's name. So now it makes it easier for you to separate financing. You know what the business did, and you know what you did on a personal level. So for me, when I first started, I took personal finances and let Team 7 borrow it, right? So I'm working. So that way, whenever I make via paycheck, I can take care of my personal things, my personal bills, my personal vices, whatever they may be, and allow my company to take care of itself. Now, when I loan the money to my company, the goal is to allow the company to be smart enough to invest that money wisely so that it can get an ROI and also make enough money to maintain without having to tap into my personal finances. So I use my shit separately. Like 7 is 7, that's me, Kelvin. And Team 7 is its own entity. If I go get a t-shirt myself from Team 7, whatever I'm charging for that t-shirt, I put that money back in Team 7 from my personal account. So that a way I know that Team 7 is maintaining his own, is holding his own weight. He's selling his products. So if I'm dealing with someone else and they, well, I want a deal, listen, man, I got it for sale, not on sale. So the thing is, once I learned the advantage of being able to separate my finances, Team 7 is starting to do his own thing, is starting to flourish in his own way. And I'm really glad that I did that. And because not only do Team 7 become his own entity in terms of his own finances, I don't pay myself right now. For one, because I do have an LLC. I don't want the double taxation, so I don't pay myself. I just take everything that Team 7 makes and puts it right back into the company. More inventory, more hats, more shirts, more marketing items, whatever it may be, so that Team 7 can get to a point to where it's doing well enough. Now I can pull away from my personal job and become an employee for my own company. At this point, I'll probably change from an LLC to an S Corp because of the advantages that comes with it. But as everything has its pros and cons. But I'm just kind of sharing a little game with y'all in terms of me giving you my viewpoint, my vantage point on the way that I conceive things, right? And the world is built on perception. So quite naturally, if you perceive things differently, you're going to view them differently. And if you view them differently, you're going to approach them differently. And for me, that's the biggest picture. Understanding that I have to see things from more than one way, which allow me to deal with them in more than one way. I'm personally not always right. I'm not always wrong either, but I'm not always right. And because I know that I'm not always right, it makes it easier for me to listen to advice or pull in information from a source that I feel is worthy of it. I will trust, but verify. But at least you can give me some insight, or I can gain some insight from someone else's perspective or someone else's vantage point and say, you know what, maybe I should look at it this way, or I shouldn't be so set on the way that I saw it because someone else over here sees it completely contrarily. So maybe I can take what they've given me, apply it to what I've learned, and now I have a different way of viewing things overall in its entirety. So, this may seem all over the place, but I'm actually making a point. The point being is the things that I'm sharing with you guys via video, you can take it and just run with it. I mean, because for one, I don't have no reason to mislead you. If I can't help you, I'm not going to hurt you. If I can't guide you, I won't misdirect you. That's just the way I feel. But all in all, getting those things that we spoke about, like LLC or whatever you choose to do, LLC and your EIN and your trademarks and your domain names. Trademarks is another video. We'll speak about that later. And all the things that I'm giving you are the steps that I took and the things that I feel work for me and help protect me. You follow what I'm saying? So that domain name is really, really important. Please get that. And if you have products for sale already, like me, I'm going to keep a truck full of product, right? I'm going to go out, I'm going to hit the streets, and I'm going to deal with the people that I deal with and try to sell them that way. But it's other people who always ask me, I mean, you got a site? Maybe they want to buy nothing today. Or maybe they want to see what all is currently available. Or what will be available, future tense. So, because of that, I build me a site. Now, whether you look at it tonight, you go back to your country, your town, or your city, or your state, wherever you're going, and then you decide, let me pull them up and check them out. And you decide to purchase something, that was a sale that I was able to make that I didn't have to physically sell to you or physically make. So that's the advantage of having that domain. So it's easier for people to find you once you build your site. That goes without saying. Getting that checking account so that way now when the money started coming in, you're able to deposit into your checking account of the company. Let the company take care of the company. You follow what I'm saying? And as long as you have your finances separate, you know what you're spending for your business. You know what your business is making. You also know the difference between the two. Meaning, if you spent this, but you made this, you know what you profited or what you lost. Strictly for the business. Tax purposes. You can get a bank statement. And you know exactly where your money went. How much came in, how much went out. Without worrying about trying to filter out on your personal account, what did I spend on the business? And what did I pay my bill with? Did I do this or is this right? You don't have to worry about that because it's all in one place for you. And I think that alone is going to be a step that a lot of us have to get used to because we're so used to just taking care of things from a personal standpoint out my pocket. But now, if you're in a position to start your business and you have a few extra dollars, loan the money to your business. And as it go to doing well, make it pay you back. But for now, loan your company that money and allow your company to get what it needs to get started. Whether it's a machine or whether it's marketing material, whether it's inventory, whatever it may be, allow the company to do that. And then you understand that now it's time for you to go to work so that that money can come back, not just to pay back the person, but to keep his feet on the ground and to keep going forward and to keep flourishing. That's very, very essential. Like I said, get that checking account. After you get those first three things, the LLC, the EIN, the domain, as I suggested, it's just a suggestion that you do those things first. Now that you've maybe done that, now you got your checking account. Okay? If you don't have a logo currently, it's good to try to get you one now. But I personally feel like when it comes to logos, it should be simplistic yet complex. Meaning, simple enough for people to embrace, to grasp, but complex enough that it makes you a bit inverse to what's currently out there. It sets you apart. When people see it, you want people to know that that's you. Like if you see Pepsi, Pepsi don't even have to put the letters on it anymore. If you see that circle with that wave through it, you know that's a Pepsi product. The same thing with Coca-Cola. The same thing with Nike. Nike don't have to put the word Nike by the check. Adidas don't have to put the word Adidas by the three stripes. So you want a logo that identifies you with your brand, with your consumer base, so that when they see it, they already know what it is. Now, you got the LLC, EIN, domain, checking account. Make sure you get your nice, simplistic but yet complex logo. And then next week, we'll pick up from where we left off this week. And we'll go even further into depth. And then if, like I say, if you guys hear some on these videos that you feel like you want to know more about or you want to speak about, if you know more about it, just share it with me, because I want to be as knowledgeable as you, excuse me. And if you got some information that you can share, man, I'm open to that. I don't know it all. As I said from video one, I'm not the whiz. I'm just a guy searching for knowledge, man. And with that being said, I'm gone.